Hello everybody, it's me, Big Daddy Brian, with my baby mama, with all the drama, Elaine.
Hi.
And we're here to talk about, I think it's one of the best arcs. Do you think it's like the greatest arc?
I wouldn't say the greatest, but I think it's like my top 3.
Yeah. Dressrosa. And with this arc, a lot of stuff happened. And like so much stuff happened that I had to write down like 10 questions because I feel like they were so important that I had to write them down and make sure that I talked to her about it. And one of the first questions for me was, did you expect the flame fruit to come back into the story?
Yeah.
Really?
Because you said that once someone dies, their flame fruit
comes back.
Yeah. But I didn't think he got a hold of it so quick.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked because I was like, oh, it's not gonna come back. It's whatever. And then like when we got to Dressrosa, Luffy finds out about Doflamingo's little tournament going on, and whoever wins gets this flame fruit. And when Luffy found out, he was like, who am I gonna give this to? Because he can't eat it by the end of the day. Chopper, Robin, Brooke can't eat it either. So who did you think was gonna eat it?
If I were to say, I know he wouldn't want to, but I'm just saying
Zoro.
I think Zoro. Yeah.
Zoro. Yeah, I think I agree with you because it just feels like he is the type of character to want to get his own strength and power from his own body and not depend on a devil fruit.
Yeah.
Because I also think Mihawk doesn't have a devil fruit, so it's kind of like...
How's he going to be the greatest swordsman if he has a devil fruit?
Yeah. And I feel like that fits his character.
Yeah.
But with Sanji, it kind of makes sense because every time he fights, he has like this little flame kick, his El Diablo, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It would make sense for him to have it, but I think we already talked about how he's one of the best swimmers in the crew.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense for him to eat the fruit, especially because most of them drowned a lot.
Majority of them.
Majority of them all drown a lot.
Except for Robin.
Except for Robin. I feel like she's more gracious, like, someone save me. She'll have her little hands up like, ah. And then there's Frankie, but Luffy asked Frankie in that moment, I think. And Frankie was like, no, I like my ability to swim. And it makes sense because at the same time, he is the shipwright.
Yeah.
So how is he going to be like...
able to like fix ships
and stuff like that. And then there's still Nami and Usopp. And for me... I think Usopp would eat it by accident, like Buggy did in like the Orangetown arc when we first met him. What do you think?
No, I think it'll suit Nami better because she's more feisty, whereas Usopp is still scary.
But with Nami, it feels like she'll consider it first. Maybe she'll be like, "Give me some money and I'll eat it," or then she'll be like, "Ah, yeah, I guess I'll do it just the kindness, like from the kindness of my heart." And then as soon as she says yes, Usopp's out here eating it by accident
because he was so hungry.
Imagine him with the flame fruit. Like, he's over here throwing, like, fire fist punches and stuff like that.
Huh? He misses.
I'd be like, he doesn't miss. So, during this arc, the Straw Hats actually split up again.
Split up?
Split up again.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
At the end?
Yeah. Well, I think it was, like, in the middle of the arc.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
I think so, because, like, it was Frankie and Luffy. And then Zoro and Sanji.
No, you're thinking about it wrong. It was Robin, Luffy, Frankie, Zoro. I think that was the main 4. And then Kinemon. They all stayed. Well, Sanji, Nami, Chopper, Caesar. And I'm probably forgetting one more. Oh, Brooke. They all had to dip. I already said Chopper.
Oh.
And they all had to dip. How'd you feel about them splitting up again, especially after Sabaody?
I didn't really care, to be honest, but I feel like I wasn't really too worried because I feel like Sanji does all the protecting and Brooke too. But I feel like they kind of need everyone to keep it together. Yeah,
I feel like a good arc has all the characters in it. And I still think this arc was good. But it would have been cool to see the other people in there too. During this arc, we met like a lot of good new characters. For me, some of the best ones were Senior Pink and the Straw Hats' biggest fan, Bartolomeo? I always forget how to say it. I can't say it good.
Bartolomeo.
Bartolomeo?
No, Bartolomeo. Wait.
Bartolomeo. I think you said it right the first time. Okay. Let's just call him Barta.
Okay.
But how'd you feel about the new characters? Were there any ones that stuck out to you that you kind of liked?
Senior Pink.
You like Senior Pink?
Yeah. His backstory is crazy.
I remember when we first met him, you were kind of like, why is that guy wearing like baby stuff? And I was like, don't worry, you'll find out soon enough. But it's funny because I kind of already spoiled his backstory for Elaine.
A long time ago.
A long time ago. Before she even watched One Piece, I think.
Yeah.
We were like driving somewhere, I don't know where. And I was like, I'm going to tell you a backstory of one of the characters and something. And I want you to like guess where it came from. So I explained his whole backstory, and she was like, I don't know where that could be from. I don't know. And you probably just made like a random guess, and I was just like, nope. It's from One Piece. That's how good it is. They give side characters such good backstories that you want to you want to see them succeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to see him succeed. So when you met Senior Pink, what'd you feel about him? How'd you feel?
At first, I was kind of like, I don't like him. But as soon as like I got to know the reason why he like what he did, I was like,
how'd you feel about his little quirks, like stealing girls' bras and using it as like to clean his face?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. My favorite part was when the girls would be like, Senior Pink. And everybody was just like falling in love with Frankie and Senior Pink during the whole fight. It was funny.
It's funny because like he doesn't even have to try. He's all like, he let himself go and like all this stuff. And I was like, he doesn't even have to try. Look at him.
I think one of my favorite parts of this arc is seeing Frankie kiss that big girl.
Oh yeah, she's like all in love. All yeah,
he just kisses her and he's like, she just needed a kiss. A kiss isn't that important between a man and a girl. Something like that. I remember. How'd you feel about the introduction of Bartolomeo? Because when we first met him,
he was like fighting, right?
Yeah, he was kind of like a guy that kind of looked like he would be a villain in this arc.
Yeah, I thought he was a villain, so I was like, that guy's weird. But he's cool, but he's weird.
Yeah.
And he would like peed in the thing?
Yeah, peed in the little thing that they have there. I forget what it's called, but I know there's a name for it.
Yeah, and I was like, what the heck?
You're like, what's going on with this guy?
But until like, he was a big fan and like, wanted to help.
The reveal of him being a big fan was shocking to me. I was like, what? Like,
yeah,
I did not think it was going to be like something that would happen in One Piece.
He was a fangirl.
He was a fangirl for real. He had like the whole posters, and I think at the end of the arc, he had like signatures from each of the crew.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought it was hilarious.
He was missing some, wasn't he? Sanji's.
Like everyone that went to Zoe.
Yeah.
And the funny part was when it showed Robin's thing, and I think she did a little bird.
Yeah, like a little chicken or something.
I was like, wow, look at her go. During this arc, we got to meet somebody that we thought was dead. And everybody in the One Piece like characters thought he was dead too. Do you know who I'm talking about? Sabo. How'd you feel about him coming back?
I was lucky shook it, but I kind of like knew already.
Yeah, guys, she spoiled herself. She legit was going through TikTok, saw a whole clip of him showing up, and instead of, like swiping away, keep going with her day, she kept watching the clip. And it wasn't just like any clip. It was the clip where Sabo was reacting to seeing Ace die.
True story.
And then she came to me and she was like, Sabo comes back? And like, I can't hide it because I know it's obvious that she just saw it like on TikTok. So I'm just like, yeah, he comes back.
But it's funny because when I did that to you, when I was like, Ace dies, you're like, you have to watch it. Because
by the end of the day, Ace is kind of easy to explain. I could easily be like, oh, well, it's his fruit, remember? He should not be able to die. I could have tricked you with that.
No, you can't trick
Wait, I never asked you. How do you think Ace died? He's a Logia. How was he able to like kill him?
Because lava is more...
It's stronger than fire.
Yeah.
Wow, you knew. Clap, 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 clap.
Thank you.
It's funny though, because Sabo is kind of like a controversial figure in the One Piece community. Because a lot of people just think he's like another Ace.
Well, didn't he replace Ace?
Basically, that's what he did. So that's why a lot of people kind of don't care about him as much. They feel like Oda kind of forced him into the story. Because I think I've told you before, there's like little plot holes that people are like, how come Ace doesn't know who Sabo is? I mean, he was the Revolutionaries vice captain. I forget what he was.
But aren't they more like
secretive
or something?
Yeah, I think that's true. But a lot of the time when Sabo shows up, people know who he is. So that's why a lot of people see it as a plot hole. Like, also, why didn't Sabo see Ace on the newspapers before?
Yeah.
Because Ace was a popular pirate before Luffy came into the scene. But I guess it took to see like his family to die to actually come back with his memories.
Well, maybe like he was never interested in the newspapers.
Maybe
because they were like when they announced Ace dies, they were like reading out loud, and that caught his attention. That's
true, and especially because it's during Marineford, the biggest event in the One Piece world. During this arc, we got to see Law's backstory. How'd you feel about that one? I feel like when you saw that backstory, you were kind of like, this is probably the saddest backstory in One Piece.
Law has my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh.
What part got you?
Where he went back for his sister and he saw the fire.
Yeah, that was pretty depressing.
I was like, ah.
He was like telling her, don't worry, I'll be right back. And then he comes back to his house being all in flames and he's just like, oh my god. And it was crazy because he saw his parents die. He went to go see the kids that were like adopted by the nun.
Yeah.
And then he saw that they were all dead. He went back to the house to see if his sister was still okay. The house was burning. And then he had to hide in like
under dead bodies.
Under dead bodies just to survive. And that's how he met Doflamingo and all that. And then we still haven't talked about the Corazon part of his story, where he saw Corazon die.
I know. He had it rough.
He did. How do you feel about Corazon as a character?
I kind of don't understand him, like, why he hit, like, kids. I don't understand that part. But
I think he just did it to, like, build it as a character trait. You know what I mean? Where he's just, like, trying to stay in cover.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I just don't understand, like, what was going through his head. Or, like, why was he going against his brother.
Well, they did explain it. Corazon didn't like what Doflamingo was doing. I mean, he killed his own dad just to go back to being a celestial dragon.
Who didn't accept him, right?
So I think that's why Corazon was kind of like, he's a monster. He killed his own dad just to go back to being a celestial dragon. So I think that's why it made him like want to go against him. And then plus Doflamingo is a messed up person, even though he tries to hide it with his family. And we saw this whole thing with Law. Like, Law legit told him in front of his face, your whole family is just fake. It's built off, like, trying to... I forget what he said. He was like...
To impress him or something.
Yeah, something like that. He was like, it's just built for something. It's not a real family.
Yeah.
And Doflamingo got pissed and just kept shooting him. Remember? But yeah, I think Law's backstory, I think I would say, is it number one? I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to, like, place these backstories because there's Brooke, there's Robin, and there's Law. I think those three are like the biggest, saddest backstories.
But Brooke, like, it's sad because he ate the what?
He ate the, I forget what the fruit's called, but he ate a devil fruit that made him
so like, for him to see his cast die, like, this is depressing. Robin, that was depressing too.
Yeah, I mean, she saw her whole village get blown up.
To be honest, I'm about to say Law is the saddest one. He tops it off.
That's true. And then plus he had the disease that he still had to deal with. Yeah. And he wasn't sure if he was going to live or not.
So all the people that he cared about, he literally saw die.
So in One Piece so far, we already know a lot of One Piece characters come back. So how'd you feel about Bellamy coming back into Dressrosa? The hyena? I know. She did not give a single care about Bellamy coming back. And I was over here like, I can't wait for her to see Bellamy again. And you were just like, okay, he's back, whatever. And she did not feel bad for him at all. The whole entire time she was like, he deserves it. Why do you think he deserved it?
Because he's a punk.
He's a punk? Yeah. Especially for what he did to Nolan and his two monkey friends?
Yeah. So I feel like whatever he did, deserved it. And then he was trying to be like Two-Face with Luffy.
No, he supports Luffy.
Well, then he was trying to like be on
Doflamingo's side. Well, it's because by the end of the day, like he doesn't want to go against his own like ideas. Because remember, that's what he bullied Luffy for. So now he's like, I learned my ways. Where it's like the Sky Islands were real, so I need to show like I care about my ideals too. Yeah,
which is cool, but I still don't care. I think he's still Two-Faced because he's like, I don't want to hurt you, Straw Hat. And then he ends up like fighting him. Yeah. Just because what's his name?
Doflamingo. And then Luffy just ends up punching him in the same spot like he did
like that last time. So I don't care.
She doesn't care, guys. I thought it was pretty cool that he came back and like he kind of like reinvented himself and showed that he actually cares about people now. And I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, people do change over time. And I think it's believable for Bellamy to change, especially because he did go to Skypiea and see what happens. So in this arc, there were a lot of cool moments, like Usopp showing his hockey. How do you feel about that?
I thought it was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I think that's one of the moments like I'm actually happy. Or that I was proud of Usopp or whatever for waking his hockey instead of being like crying. It
was crazy because I wasn't expecting him to like have it. I thought he was just going to be one of the normal people, like Nami and Chopper. Well, Chopper has a devil fruit, but you know what I mean.
But I feel like Nami would low-key wake up a devil fruit. I mean, her hockey.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I think I made a video about this where I said, like, I think everyone in the crew should have hockey at some point. Because, like, there's such a, like, an important crew in the world that they all need to have, like, some sort of hockey. Yeah. And it can't just be, like, Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy. All the guys, basically. Yeah, it's all the top three. But, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But Usopp seeing his little moment was pretty cool. I feel like he doesn't have that many like crazy great moments, but when he does, like they make it count. Like when Eni's lobby, when he shot down the flag. No, wait. Good. It wasn't even Usopp that did it. It was Soga King. What am I talking about? King? It's Sniper King, but he's also called Soga King. Oh, okay. But yeah, I think that was a cool little moment for Usopp though, especially with his little God Usopp thing too.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end we saw that his bounty is called like God Usopp. And I thought it was pretty cool. I wonder how like people in his village are gonna react when they see his name as God Usopp in the bounty.
I know people like that's the guy.
That's our captain for them, the little three kids.
The little guys.
Yeah.
I can't believe they weren't in the live action.
I know, that's pretty crazy. I don't know why they didn't put it. I mean, it makes sense. They were going through all these arcs like crazy.
Yeah, true.
Covering one episode. And if you're interested in seeing us talk about the live action, guys, we have a whole video on it. So check it out. So like another cool moment that I wanted to talk about was the Straw Hats' new bounties. How'd you feel about that?
I thought it was cool, well deserved.
It's like, would you say now that one of your favorite One Piece moments is like getting to see the bounties after an arc?
Yeah.
Yeah? I think it's fun too. I love it. And like a lot of people, like they get kind of crazy with the bounties because they use it as power scaling, where it's like,
yeah, basically,
if someone has like a high bounty, they should be everybody else that has low numbers.
That's true. Like I still kind of like God Usopp has a higher bounty than Zoro.
I know. No, it wasn't. Was it?
Or is that the one thing they're doing like not the tournament.
Oh, it was during the Dressrosa thing. Oh, yeah. So Dressrosa, everybody knows there was a part where Doflamingo wanted to play a game and said that if you guys kill these people, we'll give you a certain amount of money. And like they had a star system. And I think Usopp was like the only one that had 4 stars or 3 stars or something like that.
I think 4 stars.
He had 4 stars and he was worth more money than everybody else. And I think that was like a crazy moment. Zoro must have been mad. He was like what the hell? What's going on here?
Like, ain't no way.
Ain't no way, my boy. But I think about like another cool moment. Like, never mind. It's not the cool moment. It's one of the best moments in this arc. Is the reveal of Gear 4. How'd you feel about that?
The monkey?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was funny.
I know. It fits his character, right?
Yeah.
Because Luffy is not a character that's going to be badass and look badass. Because, you know, by the end of the day, he's a goofy kid that stretches.
Yeah, that's true.
So his little Gear 4 was pretty cool to see. It was crazy because, like, in my head, I didn't know what to expect for it to look like. And a lot of people were making theories that it would kind of look like Nightmare Luffy in Thriller Bark. Remember? He turned all blue and big.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
Well, in Thriller Bark, he took all these shadows in. And he became blue and big.
I remember.
And there was like a lot of theories out there talking about like the next Gear 4 is going to look like that. And a lot of people were right. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be like something cooler maybe. But at this point I should know it's not going to look cool. It's going to look goofy.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool like how he overpowered Doflamingo for like a good 5 minutes and then boom, he lost all his power.
Yeah. I mean, it takes up most of his energy, so it makes sense. And
that's the cool thing about Luffy and his power-ups is like there's always a risk to it. He can't be in it for too long. Just like Gear 2 and Gear 3. And there was like another cool moment with the Grand Fleet. You remember what I'm talking about?
No.
At the end when everybody drinks the sake cups and becomes like people that are under Luffy.
Oh, like they want to be an ally, but he doesn't want to, but they still do it anyway.
Yeah, they still do it. How'd you feel about that moment?
I thought it was pretty cool, like, cause yeah.
I liked it because it kind of showed like Luffy's growth in the One Piece world. He really came into this world like coming in a barrel. And then Kobe, like, helping him out and letting him survive, you know? Remember?
Kobe?
Yeah, remember Kobe? So Luffy was in the ocean, but there was, like, a little whirlpool. Luffy got stuck, he put himself in the barrel. And then Kobe found the barrel and took him out.
In the beginning?
Yeah, in the beginning. It was, like, the first episode.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So it just shows, like, Luffy's journey from being, like, this single guy that wanted to be a pirate king. And now he has, like, a whole grand fleet under him. I think that's pretty cool to see his growth from, like, barely being able to get Zoro to join his crew to now having like everybody below him.
He's very like a people's person. Yeah, he's a people's person. He knows how to interact, I guess.
Yeah, like he's just the type of person that people want to follow, and people never like they never second guess. They're just like, I need to follow this guy. He's like really good.
Like Zoro, he didn't want to.
Zoro was like, it's like I'm making a deal with the devil. But for you, what was like one of the best moments from this arc?
This arc? I'm not gonna lie, when Usopp knocked out that little girl.
Really?
Yeah, and he like had everybody like go back to normal.
Guys, this is coming from a girl that hates Usopp. So this is kind of shocking to me. I didn't expect you to say that. That's crazy though. I didn't think you would like actually want to have Usopp as one of the best moments in this arc.
That's one of the best moments. I didn't say it was the best.
Okay, then what's the best moment in this arc?
When Luffy defeated the Flamingo.
That was a really good moment. It's crazy because in the manga, they kind of showed Luffy just beating him in like one hit. So at the end, you know how like they were kind of like, you know,
like fading.
Like they were like it was like that tension to see who was gonna win. It's like a power struggle, and in the manga, it's just like boop, Luffy beats him with one punch.
Oh.
So I wish they kind of did that, but I still appreciate the anime for what it did, because at the end of the day, like people aren't gonna read the manga. Some people aren't gonna read the manga, so I think it's like a cool way for them to like see it.
You know what I think? Doflamingo's a cheater.
Why?
Because he was using his string fruit for like the buildings and everything. Cheater.
Well, he awakened this fruit by the end of the day.
I don't care. He's a cheater.
So in this arc, Doflamingo was like the main villain.
Right.
And I think he's one of the best parts about this arc that make it so good. How'd you feel about him being the villain in this arc?
Makes sense, yeah.
You just thought it was alright?
Yeah.
I like how you said that, even though like when we talk about Doflamingo, you're like, I love Doflamingo. He's one of the best characters in One Piece.
Yeah, he's the best.
You even had him in your top 10.
He's the best villain.
And you just had like one little thing. He's good.
He's good. I don't know what to say about him.
Is there anything else that you kind of liked about him? I like that he kind of has like good fashion sense.
He does have good fashion sense.
And
I think he carries his... I like his laugh, like his little
laugh.
laugh.
I think he was very entertaining. Like every time he would show up, like it was always something like cool happening with him. And I thought it was pretty funny. Like every time they would show him in the anime, like his vein was just popping out.
Every time he's mad.
And it was like more and more and more. Like I'm surprised he didn't have a heart attack. But how'd you feel about his backstory and him being like an actual celestial dragon before?
I don't know how I feel.
I was kind of shocked. I didn't expect him to be like a former celestial dragon. I thought he was just like another pirate that's just like trying to take over everything.
Yeah, but like it kind of makes sense.
It does make sense.
The way he is, because how he was like basically brought into the world.
It's funny because like you're right. Every time we see him, it's kind of like he has this like god complex where he thinks he's better than everybody.
Yeah.
And every time we saw him in little scenes, like in Marineford, like when he was fighting Crocodile, or like he was just like doing little crazy stuff, it was kind of like, who is this guy? Like, when are we gonna talk about this guy?
But honestly, I like Doflamingo.
I think he's a very good character. I don't know if he'd be the best villain. I'm not sure.
Well, so far from what I say, I think he is.
I think he'd probably be in my top 3 villains. I'm not sure who else would be in my top 3.
Do you think Blackbeard?
Well, he hasn't done anything crazy yet for me to be like, oh, he's the best villain in One Piece.
Was he the one who scratched Shanks?
Yeah. They talked about it, remember?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Yeah, it was during the little moment before, I think it was after Annie's lobby. Because he went to go talk to Whitebeard for a bit. And he was telling Whitebeard to tell Ace to stop following Blackbeard. Because Blackbeard gave him the scratches that he has on his eyes. It's okay, guys. One Piece is so long that sometimes you just forget little things like that.
I saw a TikTok of it. So it's like,
you're like, what? When did this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just little things that like people just forget. Like even I forget some things. I'm always like, what? Like one time I legit forgot that Frankie went to Vegapunk's laboratory during this time skip.
He did?
Yeah, he was in the laboratory. I don't remember. You don't remember? Because, okay. This is a reveal, guys. I'm sorry to say. I did skip some episodes where Elaine didn't get to see where all the Straw Hats landed after Sabaody. So I just kind of, remember? I was like, I'm just going to give her a brief summary of everyone's adventure. And that's what I did.
Yeah, he just like, he didn't even show me the episode. He just like went over them.
I was like, Nami went to some weather place. Robin landed in this one place that's in a bridge. And then she starts joining the Revolutionary Army. Usopp went into this one place where he gets fat, and then like he starts getting buff again. I just kind of explained everything that happened, because I think we were about to get into Marineford, and I was like, this is not worth our time. There's better arcs. I'm sorry, guys. Don't come after me in the comments.
Come after him.
Someone's gonna be like, Brian, how are you gonna tell her to skip some of the most important episodes before Marineford? Okay, one of the reasons I kind of don't like this arc is because I feel like they went kind of crazy with the titties. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I feel like all the girls have like, other anime girls have like
big ones,
boobies like that.
But it's crazy because in this one it was kind of like Rebecca and Violet were like.
Well, for them, I feel like their clothes are more revealing compared to like, cause Nami's are like that, so they just look bigger because of what they were wearing. Probably,
but I don't know, cause every time they would show like them in a panel or a scene, like they would like put a main focus on the titties. You know what I'm talking about? At some point they had like, I think it was Rebecca's titties going like all the way up here, like it would have, what would it have done? It would have suffocated her.
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't think it was a big deal? No, you're all used to it. This is the type of love you want, guys. Girls, that love anime boobies. So let's end it with us rating this arc. What would you rate it from 1 to 10? 10 being it's great, amazing. 1 being that is absolutely trash.
I say a good 10.
You give it a 10?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think you would give out 10s like that easy. Because do you think it's like at the same level as Marineford, Annie's Lobby?
Yeah, I feel like there was something always going on. There was a backstory to everything. How they had like slavery, how they like Rebecca's backstory, those little, what are those people called?
I think I just call them fairies. I know there's a name for it, but I always forget it.
Them fairies, like there was something was always going on.
Someone had like a big part in the story. Like it was a big deal for everyone.
Rebecca's dad, like I knew it.
I know that was a big like mystery in the anime, and at some point she was kind of like, I wonder if that's her dad, and I was like, I guess you'll find out. But if I had to rate it, I think I would give it like a 9 out of 10. I feel like it was a good arc, but it wasn't like a great arc that we're like used to seeing in One Piece. Like Annie's Lobby, Marineford, I think those arcs are like at another level compared to Dressrosa.
Why?
I think it's just because Marineford, like there was so much going on in that one arc that was like a life-changing for every character in One Piece. And then with Annie's Lobby, I just feel like that was the first arc where I was kind of like, oh my god, like this is what One Piece greatness is? Because there was like so many things going on. Every episode felt important. Every chapter felt important. With Dressrosa, like, yeah, I'll say it was good. But I feel like there was moments where I was kind of bored. And like, if I'm bored, I'm kind of like, is Elaine bored? Like,
I don't know, I liked it personally because I felt like with the time skip, like with all the like, what is it called? Their advancements of their powers or what they're awakening. I don't know what to call it.
with their training and stuff?
Yeah. They couldn't beat the people now.
That was very true. But I think that's it for us, guys. Alright. If you guys want to listen to this, you guys can listen to it as audio on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as Dream Ghost, a One Piece lover. Please listen, give it 5 stars on Spotify, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If you do, I'll give you a shout out right here in one of our videos. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. Tell us how we're wrong about our opinions. Tell me how I suck. Elaine doesn't know what she's talking about. Tell us about something about Sebastian or something, even though he wasn't in this video. You guys can say whatever you want. We don't really care because we care about the views.
No, I care. So
you do care?
Nice.
Be nice. But shout out to you guys. I really appreciate you watching this video. Shout out to you guys. Bye.